Look around and you'll see a lot of people working incredibly hard, making decent money, yet constantly stressing over their next paycheck. We're caught in a cycle of earning to consume, trapped by high incomes and nearly zero savings. Meanwhile, Japan has one of the highest concentrations of millionaires in the world. You just wouldn't know it by looking at them. They build wealth silently, across generations, without the flash or the constant financial anxiety. Our culture pushes us to constantly replace things the moment they show wear, but Japanese culture takes an opposite approach. When something breaks, they repair it. The art of kintsukuroi mends broken pottery with actual gold. It celebrates the object's history and finds value in maintaining what you already own, rather than constantly chasing a brand new replacement. We are going to apply that exact mindset to your money. Over the next 5 minutes, we're going to build a tangible, 3-part quiet wealth starter system that you can use to physically reset how you manage your finances. Before we go any further, pause this video. I need you to go grab a pen, your smartphone, and a physical notebook. Do not skip this step, and please resist the urge to open a budgeting app on your phone. We need the physical paper to make this work. The path to improving your financial situation rarely starts by earning a higher income. It starts by creating a physical point of friction that forces you to actually see where your cash is going. We have to slow down your consumption process so you can finally become aware of it. Step 1 relies on a household financial ledger called the Kakeibo. It was introduced in 1904, and it is the physical foundation of our entire system. Open that notebook you just grabbed to the very first blank page. Take your pen and draw 3 lines straight down the page, so you end up with 4 distinct columns. Label the first column Survival. This is strictly for your absolute essentials: rent, groceries, and utilities. Label the second column Optional. This is where you'll log things like that streaming service you haven't watched in months, or random takeout orders. Label the third column Culture. You'll put books, classes, and meaningful life experiences here. Finally, label the fourth column Extra. This bucket is exclusively for impulsive, regret-driven purchases that leave you wondering why you bought them. I know it is tempting to just download an app that sorts this for you. Do not do it. Cognitive science shows that the physical act of writing hits your brain differently. Automation allows your money to vanish invisibly. Writing each purchase down forces a direct confrontation with reality that a digital tracker completely bypasses. This physical ledger isn't a restrictive budget designed to make you feel guilty about buying coffee. You are simply holding up an objective mirror to your habits. For the next 30 days, simply write things down and observe your unconscious spending. Now, with a tool to track the future, step 2 is examining the immediate past. The Japanese have a concept called Mottainai. It translates to deep regret over waste and a financial respect for the resources you're given. Let's do a quick mental audit of your last 30 days. Think about the groceries you bought that ended up rotting in the trash, the clothes hanging in your closet with the tag still on, and the digital subscriptions charging you every month that you forgot even existed. Let's look at this diagram to attach some real numbers to those habits. A $5 meal left to rot, a $50 shirt you wore once and pushed to the back of the closet, a $20 app subscription you never logged into. That adds up to a $75 monthly wealth leak. This chart shows how a leak that feels incredibly small in the moment compounds over time. That $75 multiplies out across 12 months into a towering $900 annual deficit. Wasting these resources is literally stealing from your future self. If your personal calculation is sitting in the hundreds right now, take a breath. Do not beat yourself up. This number is not a moral failure or a sign that you're hopeless with money. It is simply your own baseline data. Discovering a high waste number is actually an advantage. It means you now have a clear, highly visible target. Your goal for this coming month isn't perfection. It is just to shrink that leak using the awareness from your notebook. Step 3 is where we start building actual momentum. We're going to apply the principle of Kaizen. Kaizen is the philosophy of making continuous, incredibly tiny daily improvements instead of trying to overhaul your entire life by Monday morning. To see the power of Kaizen, look at Japan after the Second World War. Entire cities were leveled to rubble. They rebuild their entire economy from that extreme zero point into a global superpower through relentless, tiny improvements sustained over decades. Grab your smartphone and open your banking app. Navigate to the settings for automated recurring transfers. I want you to set up an automatic weekly transfer from your checking to your savings. But here is the critical rule. You are only allowed to set it for a maximum of $10. We are starting so small it is impossible for you to feel restricted and cancel it. This chart shows the mathematical reality of these tiny habits. An unnoticeable $5 daily savings, tucked away in an investment account yielding 8%, accelerates rapidly. Over 2 decades, those tiny daily choices compound into a staggering $91,000. By keeping the initial habit impossibly small and totally automated, you remove the stress. You are not relying on willpower anymore. Wealth generation shifts from a draining effort into an invisible, inevitable background process, taking away while you go about your life. You just built the foundation. You have an active Kakeibo ledger ready for your next purchase, a calculated Mottainai waste baseline to beat, and a Kaizen autosave protocol humming quietly in the background. To keep this system running, you need one final psychological concept, shogunai. It translates to, it cannot be helped, and it represents the strategic acceptance of circumstances completely outside of your control. You cannot control the inflation rate, the global economy, or the inheritance your neighbor received. Stressing over macro variables leads directly to anxiety shopping. But you have absolute total control over the notebook sitting on your desk. Take that notebook and leave it open in a highly visible place, like your kitchen counter. You need to physically see it every single day to force compliance. And do not attempt to add any other massive financial habits until you have completely mastered this simple baseline. Quiet wealth is never loud, and it is never flashy. It is patient, it is disciplined, and it relies entirely on the small choices you control today. If your notebook is ready, drop quiet wealth in the comments below. Make sure to hit subscribe because in the next video, we're taking this up a notch by covering the 30-day gamen rule.